This is a legitimate concern. Could bacteria or viruses lurking in ancient Egyptian mummies unleash a plague today? Do mummies contain pathogens that could be transferred to humans today? And should we be worried? Let's remember that a lot of them at that time also had leprosy. The ancient Egyptians were no strangers to illnesses, with research showing that they were affected by a host of infectious diseases, including smallpox, tuberculosis, and leprosy. For instance, Ramases V, the fourth pharaoh of Egypt's 20th dynasty, contracted smallpox, which is evidenced by telltale smallpox scars pockmarking his mummified body. Even though the World Health Organization, WHO, officially declared smallpox eradicated worldwide in 1980, is it possible that thousands of years later, newly unearthed mummies could unleash smallpox or any other illnesses from their bodies? Piers Mitchell, director of the University of Cambridge Ancient Parasites Laboratory and a senior research associate in its Department of Archaeology, said it's extremely unlikely. Most species of parasites are dead within a year or two without a living host to latch onto, Mitchell told Life Science. If you wait more than 10 years, everything is dead, he said. For example, pox viruses like smallpox can only reproduce within the cells of a living host, according to the National Library of Medicine's National Center for Biotechnology Information at the National Institute of Health, NIH. The bacteria that causes tuberculosis and leprosy also requires living hosts to survive, according to the NIH. However, smallpox is spread by touch from person-to-person contact, whereas tuberculosis and leprosy usually travel through droplets from the nose and mouth, typically passing via a sneeze or a cough, according to NIH. In the case of leprosy, it takes extended exposure with someone who is ill for it to spread. This is because the two species of bacteria that cause the disease, known as Mycobacterium leprae and Mycobacterium lepromatosis, replicate slowly, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Another factor that decreases the likelihood of someone contracting an illness from a mummy is the degradation of DNA over time. With analysis, you can find that all the bits of DNA of these parasites are rather short, Mitchell says. Instead of being nice, long, healthy DNA chains, they are only about 50 to 100 base pairs. It's like everything has been chopped up, and it's because the DNA is degraded and breaking down. There's no way for anything to be viable once the DNA has fallen apart. Nothing is waking up, he said. However, some parasites, parasitic intestinal worms, which are distributed through feces, live longer than other organisms, and not all need to have hosts to survive. Still, they are not a big worry either. Those can be a lot tougher and can last a number of months or sometimes a few years, but none of them are going to last thousands of years, Mitchell said. The vast majority of parasites die within the host when the host dies because they have no way of surviving. And even on the off chance that one of these ancient organisms were still alive and kicking, the masks, gloves, and other protective gear researchers wear to prevent them contaminating the mummies would also prevent them from contracting or spreading pathogens. This is by Jennifer Nalewicki on Live Science. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.